Yo, still bills, what's the deal, man? Yo, peep game, man. I want to talk about motherfucking Ugas and emantis. Oh, man. I see why Ugas is beefing. I see why he's beefing with the, what is it? I always forget what belt he has. I think it's, what is it, the WBC? Either WBC or WBA. I see why he's beefing with that section of body, with making him fight and honor his mandatory. I most definitely understand that. I do. Emantis is a beast. He's a beast. But the thing is, you can't get mad at that because it's not, for one, you niggas is not, y'all not Manny, y'all not Floyd, y'all not none of them. Especially Ugas. Like, you're not him, bro. You never been him. It's people who was like, man, like, alright, you was a, you're a more than credible fighter, but it's people who don't even pick you to beat a lot of these dudes in the division. They don't, they're like, nah, you ain't finna beat them. You not. I see people say, nah, man, Ugas ain't it. I don't agree with that because I'm starting to think that Ugas would beat Spence. Not even think. I feel like Ugas did legitimately beat Spence. I honestly do. I honestly do. But you're not him to, you're not him to be able to, pick and choose who it is that you fight. And not to mention, you only got that belt because, Manny Pacquiao was inactive. Never mind the fact that they was in a fucking pandemic last year. You was elevated to champ due to inactivity. You was elevated. You was elevated to champ due to inactivity, man. So I don't want to hear none of that, you ain't get feelings about having to fight a Montez and all this and all that. You dig? This is, people keep trying to intertwine, the Spence and the Crawford situation, into this. And it's like, nah. No. A lot of the Spence fans want them to fight you because at this point, they'd rather him lose to you if he's going to lose. They'd rather him lose to you than Bud because they have to eat crow if he loses to Bud. So let me get this Spence fight out, Spence and Ugas. Now, niggas is mad about that. Y'all got all the smoke for Terrence Crawford. He gonna beat the shit out of Bud, I bet. Now when it's looking for them two to be getting lined up, it's looking like that's gonna be, it's a possibility. Now y'all in y'all feelings that he ain't fighting Ugas, man. Get the fuck out of here. So even though I do see why he's a bit aggravated with the Stanionis fight, I don't think Stanionis is gonna beat Ugas. I honestly don't, man. I think Stanionis, I think it's we know what we get out of Stanionis. Pressure fighter in the clinch. He likes to, he likes to bang in the clinch. Real good hooks, real good uppercuts in the clinch. Good jab to get inside the clinch. But the thing is, what else does he have outside of him walking forward? Ugas can set traps. Ugas can pump his jab from the outside, and he can plant his feet and bang it. One thing I know, like what I said about Sean Porter, Bud and Ugas are the only ones that I've seen push Sean Porter back, like fuck off, like strength. They were able to plant their feet and push him back to the ropes. Those are the only two fighters I've seen do that with Porter. I haven't seen any other fighter be able to do that with Porter. And Ugas is smart, like how he fights in the clinch. He gets a few shots off and he pushes you back. He plants his feet, he'll rip 2 or 3 uppercuts to the body and push you back. Like that right there. I mean, you got to think, man, when you get forced back, pushed back, you have to catch yourself. You dig? That puts excess stress on your legs. That could wear on you. And Ugas does that well. He does that well. He was able to rip to the body of Sean Porter and push him back. He's going to be able to do that with Stanionis. He's going to be able to do that with him. He's going to be able to keep Stanionis off balance. I think that's most definitely a winnable fight for Ugas. I'm not picking Stanionis to win that fight. No, I'm not. I think it's going to be a tough fight. I think he's a tough fight for any of these cats at 07. Stanionis is a problem. he's a legitimate threat. I don't want to say that. I don't want to make it seem as if, oh man, he ain't nobody. Like, no, he's a legitimate threat. He is a legitimate threat. But I just think Ugas is better. I think Ugas he has the more intangibles and more dimensions in his game. I think Ugas can fight he can fight inside, outside, mid range. I don't think Stanionis just marching forward is going to be enough to get Ugas out of there. It's a threat, most definitely, yeah, because he can catch him with some shit. He can catch him with some heat. He's a good counterpuncher too on the inside. He's a real good counterpuncher, real tight guard, real good defense on the inside. I like Stanionis he's a problem, but I just think Ugas is better. I think Ugas is clearly the better between the two. And that's how I feel about it, man. I think it's it's kind of corny that he's running to the the whatever belt that he's holding. He's running to that sanctioning body, trying to force their hand and shame them into getting a fight with Spence. And I'm like, nah, homie, go fight, go get that Stanionis work. It's a good fight. It's a good fight. I just think he's a threat. So he's like, man, if I'm gonna lose, I would rather lose to Spence, which is understandable. It's understandable. Spence is a unified world champion. It's gonna be on pay-per-view. That'll be his second pay-per-view. His second pay-per-view headline. He'd be the headliner on that pay-per-view for a second time in his career after beating Manny Pacquiao. I get it. Spence is the bigger fight because Spence, as far as name, Spence has the biggest name in the division that's known to the masses. He's more known, even though his name isn't nearly as pumped up as what they would like to make us believe that it is. Nonetheless, he's still a name in the division. So I get it. I get it. The payday is, it's a bigger payday. I understand it. I understand it, man. But you can't be mad at Stanionis, bro. You can't be, you didn't earn that title. You beat the motherfucker who had it, but it wasn't like you beat him for it. You beat him. No, he was inactive. They elevated you to champion, and you beat Manny Pacquiao while you were a champion. That was cool. That was cool. But don't get mad when you don't get those fringe benefits that a Manny Pacquiao would have gotten. Don't be mad at that because you're not Manny Pacquiao. You got mandatories to honor, go honor. And that's just what it is. It's not, like I said, man, Stanionis is good, but I think you're better. I really don't know what else to say about that, man. I do see, I will say I do, it's like, yo, the tournament that he's in is like, all right, bro, like that shit kind of crazy. I ain't even gonna front. They put this, like, he has to fight, before he even gets a title to unify, he has to go through Stanionis, and then everybody is expecting Butayev to be, if he gets past Stanionis, everybody's expecting it to be him and Butayev. That's gonna be I think that's a bigger problem than Stanionis, honestly. I think Butayev is a bigger problem, a bigger threat than Stanionis. And if he fights Butayev, it's like, yo, I'm not so sure with that fight right there. So they did kind of put homeboy in a gauntlet. I can't even front. They did put him in a gauntlet. They did do that. That shit is kind of goofy. That's kind of goofy. Stanionis out here like, all right, yeah, but damn, a four-man tournament? Damn, son. Damn. You dig? We trying to get Spence and Bud. We trying to get more unification bouts. And y'all gonna put this nigga in an 8-man tournament or a 4-man tournament for while Spence and Bud will more than likely be able to fight each other in the near future. You ain't getting the side of unification if you get through Butayev, if he wins, and Stanionis until 2023. I know that shit burning you up. It will burn me up too, so I understand from that. The tournament, I'll be like, all right, bro, like that shit is kind of OD. But Stanionis, I ain't mad at it. If it was Butai at first, I wouldn't be mad at it. You dig? Honor that mandatory, and then you can move on to greener pastures if you come off successful. If not, then damn, homie, you gotta hold that L. You gotta hold that L. But Stanionis is most definitely a winnable fight for you, and I'm picking you to win that fight. I'm picking you to win that fight. Even though he is more than capable of pulling a rabbit out of the hat, I don't think you're gonna allow him to use his greatest asset, which is his work in the clinch. I don't think you're gonna allow him to do that. I think you have the IQ to get where it is that you want to be, pick your spots in the clinch and get right back out. And walk him into traps, because that's his best work. He don't know no other way. So it's a winnable fight for you, man. Stop being a little mark and go get that work, nigga. Fuck out of here. Peace.